Hey everyone, Boomsie here with the Gunpla Network. Today we're going to review the Master Grade Barbados. This was brought to us by our fine sponsors over there at Canadian Gundam, so make sure you use your code Gunpla Network to save 10% off your entire order. Now taking a look at the kit here, I did leave half of the frame exposed here, which is the Gundam frame, which is looking really nice, and I wanted to show that off with some of the articulation as well as some shots going forward. And as you can see here, the inner frame has a numerous amount of detail as well as endless possibilities for customization and painting. Now let's go ahead and get into its articulation. Taking a look at the head, it will move left and right, down and up, and you're going to get some nice swiveling motion as well as the back and forth on the head. As you can see here, the kit does have a lot of gimmicks with the pistons, which give it a really good set of mobility. And yes, with the arm here, you're going to get that full rotation, as well as a really nice bend at the elbow, as you can see the pistons exposing itself there. The wrist also has a very nice set of articulation as well. The rotation, and a little bit of thumb articulation, as you can see here. My only complaint about the thumb is they didn't provide one that can actually bend, so it's in this weird like, hey dude, thumbs up kind of weird awkward looking thing, unless you put the other hands on, which it looks fantastic. And one of the reasons why I left the frame off halfway was to show that the piston in the neck also moves up and down, which you can't really see once the backpack's on, but it is a nice detail. Rear skirt does have some articulation as well. And taking a look at the torso here, very nice motion. A little bit of crunch forward and back. And here's that side to side from the rear view. The front skirt is a little itty bitty piece, but it does have a ton of movement. The kick out to the front, you're going to get a really nice full kick, as well as a tremendous bend at the knee. And you can actually bend this even more by moving this piece down, and bam, you're going to get a little bit more articulation there. And again, as you see me moving the leg out, you got the piston gimmick there. The kick to the back, also very impressive as well. You might have to pull it up, but you can get this very odd horse kick angle here if you pull it all the way to the back. Kick to the side, making Chun-Li proud. And of course, we got to check that stanky leg, looking good. The foot also has its own articulation, showing that back and forward. Also the toe tuck. And a minor swivel. Alright, went ahead and got all the armor back on the Barbados. Wanted to do some quick articulation with the armor on, as well as highlight a few points. Taking a look first here at the shoulder armor, you do get that up and down, as well as you get a nice full rotation as well, and a little bit of extension, but you have to move this up first, and then you can go ahead and do so. The crest here does not move or anything, it just looks awesome. The chest plate does slide kind of a little bit back and forth, and you can open up the cockpit. As you saw in some of the shots that I had earlier, the cockpit was open, so you would just push this up and then go ahead and grab it from the bottom, and you can see the pilot there, little Mika. The side skirts, they don't really do too much. They move up and down, and you can like pull them back a little bit, just for that articulation for the leg movement, but they're really not in the way, and they're kind of small in general. You are able to move these side thrusters on the leg a little bit as well. Not much. You don't want to pull it back too far because that may damage it. And there's some movement once you add this piece of armor here. It's a little bit easier to grab. Taking a look at the backpack, this thing is pretty awesome. It's got a lot of articulation. You can move the thruster up and down. And each component here does move out as well. Inside of there, you're going to reveal a piston, as well as these parts right here. You can push up, like so. Let me get this one. And you can snap it back in. And what that's going to allow you to do is to use an extension piece, which it comes with 2 of these, but you only really need 1. And you're going to slide this piece onto this right here. And what this is going to allow you to do is to place the katana in its holder. So up next, we're going to take a look at the katana. It's actually just 2 pieces here, just this white plastic piece as well as the blade, which is just in that kind of like gunmetal grayish style. And as I mentioned before, you can go ahead and slot this into the backpack. And a quick rotation of what that's going to look like. And for those that wanted to see this a little bit more in detail, you can basically take this off and kind of pop it back on pretty easily, but that's what it looks like from the back. Up next, we have the highly detailed smooth bore gun here. You're going to have some articulation right here in the front. It's going to move forward like so, and back. As well as this piece here, it actually comes up, and that's what you're going to attach it to the backpack there, and I'll show you that here in a moment. There is a foil lens sticker that comes in here. As I mentioned before, it is straight out of the box without any panel lining or decals provided. So taking a look at the bore gun here on the top, you're going to see that there is another giant, basically a cannon, and you're going to want to pull that out. Sometimes it does come off like that, which is fine because it goes right back on. And you can pull this back, and you're going to pull this forward, and boom, got this big old gun. But like I said, it is a little finicky. It's solid, but when you're trying to do it on camera, it's a little difficult to move. But that goes back into place like so. And like I said, you can store this on the back of the unit. Up next, we got the iconic Barbados Mace here. Pretty sharp on the tip here, as well as it has a little bit of movement, which can feel a little bit loose, which is odd. Like if you put it down, it's gonna move down, and then it like doesn't stay locked, which is strange to me. And it does have some side swords here on the side. Where are they at? There's one, and there's a corresponding one on this side. They're a little tight in there, but giving the ability to dual wield these looks fantastic. And the Barbados comes with a pair of closed fists, a pair of fierce jazz hands, and open fists for being able to hold on to that mace. So what you're going to see in each open fist is kind of a set of pegs. It's not the normal like single peg. This is actually for stability for the mace, which actually makes it really, really useful. You're going to see some notches on the mace here. Let me see if I can get that in there. See these round rings? That's where you're going to go ahead and place that. So ultimately, when you have it set, it's going to appear like this. As I mentioned before, this is straight out of the box without any panel lining or anything, so here is the set of foil stickers. I've only really put the eyes on because they look great, and the decals here. Also comes with a little peg here. This is for stabilization on any type of action base. And in addition to the pilot in the cockpit, you're going to get Mika as well. Raise your flag. Here it is next to the Master Grade, the Real Grade, and the SD Cross Silhouette. Alright, so what do I think about the MG Barbatos? Well, it's been a long time coming, and I was all aboard the hype train when it was announced. But bias aside, I really do think they did a stellar job. From the design and detail put into the inner frame and the simplicity of the outer armor, I'd say you have to give this kit a chance. It has great shelf presence. They did a nice job with the color palette according to the anime, and adding some nice touches with the clear pink parts for the knees and shoulders. And there's so many positives with this kit, from the posing, the articulation. It's really nothing to scoff at. The Barbatos definitely charges up its chakra Giovanni, if you want to say in terms of Gundam yoga. One major plus for me is I always enjoy kits that can hold all of their arsenal, all of the weapons, with the backpack being kind of like a backpack, I guess, for the arsenal. It just makes this wolf more intimidating. So raise your flags, fellow builders, and pick yourself up one of these kits. I highly recommend it. What a way to start off the year. Anyways, that's it for this review. I'm Boomsie. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos in the future. And as always, don't forget to keep building.